on the Gamescom and at Fireshine Games, and I don't know which of the two titles we got first, but for me it's the second title, Shadows of Doubt, and with me is
Sean Campbell.
Hello Sean. Okay, what is this title you've brought with you?
So this game is Shadows of Doubt. It's made by Coal Powered Games, and actually yesterday it just won the award for the best UK game at the show, so it's already been going so well for this game. It's a detective sandbox open world experience. It's procedurally generated and the whole world is constantly fully simulated, so that's a lot to digest, but I'll try and explain how and what that all means as we go through. So the world we're going to load into today is a preset save, so that I know where things are. So if you think I make it look too easy, that's because I know exactly where everything is. Usually, obviously, you'd start a new world and it'd be procedurally generated all from scratch, but we did this for the Gamescom build so I could help people who were struggling. And I can name myself something and I can be whatever I want to be. That looks good.
You can even be non-binary.
Yeah. We want to make sure that everyone feels like they can be represented in this game, so we've got plenty of options available.
Okay, but does that actually make a visual difference?
You never actually see yourself as a player, so it doesn't make much of a difference. It's just for the added sort of immersion. So one of the things as well is in the game you have a partner, and your partner's name's Sam. And Sam is a very versatile name, so it can be anything you want it to be. It could even be a dog.
Of course, yes. But we talk to him probably sometimes, so we know it's unlikely that it's a dog.
That's true. You can see that they have a job, a life, etc. But yeah, so it's very noir style. So a classic noir sort of setup here. You're a retired detective, and then you get a strange sort of phone call, which we're hopefully about to show off. So awake in the dead of the night, it's pitch black, and we don't know what's going on. I can turn on the light, and I can get up.
Good that we know where it is. Yeah, I already saw the graphic style when I looked a little bit at what I found on the Steam page, and it reminds me of Minecraft.
There's a voxel art style. There are a couple of games out there at the moment that do this, so I don't know if you know Teardown. Teardown's another great example. It's a really great game as well. But the art style is almost just a vehicle to allow Cole, who's pretty much a solo dev, to bring this whole world to life, this vast world. Oh, and here comes the phone.
That's why we woke up. We knew that the telephone would be ringing.
And the phone, you just hear this mysterious rumbling. Can't really hear anything, but it's a bit ominous.
Okay, for us here it's difficult to understand because there's a lot of background noise on the Gamescom. I mean, we do have the sound here, but you can hear it much better than we do in the recording.
And this is Gabriel Otero. So this is a strange note that we've received. We don't know who this guy is, all we know is his name. So I'm just going to pin that to the board. And this becomes your living investigation board, very much like, in... what's it called? Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where Charlie has this board filled with things and it's the meme where he's looking at the board looking crazy. That's exactly what this is. So you can change the thing as well and name it whatever you want as well. But for now, I'm just going to pin it there so I know that they're connected.
Okay, yeah, I don't know the scene you were referring to, but of course I'm absolutely familiar with the concept of these boards, and we have, of course, also seen it in some other games. Now, is this an adventure game, or is this a role-playing game, or what is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a sandbox experience. It's definitely sort of, you can role-play, you can as your whatever you want, but obviously as a detective, and you can explore the whole world. So definitely a lot of adventuring as possible as well. But first of all, we need to explore who this guy is, what he is all about. And fortunately, you have this amazing tool in the game called the City Directory. So every single person, all 258 people, and quite a lot of the businesses are in here, and you can look them up and get their address. So I'm going to pin that to my board, and we're probably going to try and head out there pretty soon. But first of all...
Was Gabriel in the list? I was not looking fast enough.
Yeah. So, sorry, Gabriel's just down here. So this is G. Otero. So
Okay, G. Otero is Gabriel Otero.
And we can probably assume this is either a wife or a partner or something, but they live somewhere else, so they must not be. Maybe it's a son. I don't know. But we've got Gabriel Otero, and one of the things we're going to have to do is pick up our old detective equipment. We locked it all away, lost the keys, but fortunately I've got some lockpicks, so I can open it all up, and we'll get some useful stuff there. So in there we've got the print scanner, so we can use that to scan for fingerprints, and some handcuffs, so we can perform some citizens arrests on people, which is quite fun. But yeah, for now I'm going to head out into the world. I'm going to shut the door, maybe lock it as well, and hopefully we see some other people out in the world. Now,
is that a problem if you don't lock the door? Do people break in?
People can break into your stuff sometimes. I mean, there are like over 200 different character traits for the characters every time the world's generated, so it's procedurally done, and they can have very different sort of tendencies. So yesterday I was showing the game, and somebody just came in out of nowhere, when I went to the street, somebody came in and he was absolutely drunk and fell over right in front of us, and it was pretty funny. So the world sometimes interacts in very different ways than you'd anticipate. I'm just going to unlock the door because the tutorial doesn't think that I have.
So the game is going to be different every time you play it. You have different people, different riddles.
Exactly, yeah. So that's the goal, and obviously this is the story mode. The first sort of story, the introduction, the main bit there, probably takes you anywhere between sort of 2 to 6 hours, depending on how big the world is, depending on which clues, which leads you follow. And then after that, the world is literally your oyster. You can do anything you want to do there. So whether that's taking on new jobs, or if you want to buy an apartment and try and save up some money to decorate it, or just live and explore the world. You got some people running around because it's a bit wet outside. But now we're going to go into 504. So I'm going to get the lift on the go here.
But this is some kind of a main story that's unfolding, isn't it?
Yeah, this bit right now is definitely sort of the one bit that's kind of scripted. So every time you play the game, if you start a new one, you'd still have this sort of phone call and note, but it would be a different person, different places, and the clues as well can be quite different. So we're going to see if our buddy is in, Gabriel. No one seems to be coming to the door, and I can't open the door.
But we had 40 lockpicks or something. We had so many. By looking, you need to look at the handle and then it will magically open.
So I can do some lockpicking, but if people see me lockpick, they get suspicious and they might not be too happy. There are other ways to get into the building though. So there's a vent system here. I could try crawl through some vents. And sometimes people are kind of silly and they'll put things like keys underneath the doormat.
Ah, that's easy. That's great, but probably not on every playthrough.
Yeah, not on every playthrough. We set that up so that people wouldn't get in trouble. I'm gonna lock the door behind me so that nothing bad happens here.
But it says now on the top left, trespassing, and he doesn't look so good. The text says, I think he's dead.
He's dead, but we don't know who this is, but we have found a dead body, and that's pretty tragic. So we need to find out who's this guy, how did he die? Oh, so he died literally in the last hour. So we know his time of death, that's quite useful. And I'm also going to take his fingerprints as well, because I think I'm going to scan the property to see if I can find any other fingerprints. We've also got some bullets here, so that's quite useful. We can know what kind of gun was probably shot at him. And I think if I look around, I might be able to even find an entry wound. So there we go. And I think I'll create a connection with this one here. So
yeah, I think that gives us a hint on how he died.
Definitely. And it's definitely Gabriel. He's dead, so I am going to steal his money. I hope he doesn't mind. He doesn't need it anymore. So we know it's Gabriel. That's pretty sad. But I'm going to look around now and see if I can find any clues about who might have done this. So I found an ominous note there.
Don't forget who owns you. That doesn't sound. That doesn't sound very friendly.
It seems like he's fallen in with a bad crowd, and he has a big tab, or maybe has a tab at this bar. So I'm going to pin that as well, and I'll pin this too. And I think I'll do the custom connection.
Is the connection just for organizing yourself, or are the connections also a meaning for the game? Like if you connect certain things, will it reveal something?
So for the most part, it's just for your own investigative eyes. The game doesn't drip feed you clues like a narrative game might. So in this, it's really up to you to determine what you've got is useful or not, and if you think it's related to something else and you want to explore that further. So entirely up to you to create your own connections.
Okay. You have blue and red wires, and you just choose freely. And you have more colors, everything you would like.
There are lots of colors. So I'm going to connect these ones with a different one now, because I think these guys are all related as well. Maybe I'm not allowed to.
No, I actually remember the color choosing dialogue, so yeah, sometimes it's difficult to see everything at once.
I don't know if that does. Oh, and you can even change the color of the pin as well. Wow. So you can organize it very nicely and neatly. So now in this sort of introduction, the game's given me some nice little tips as to how to search for clues in the crime scene. One of the best ways to do this is obviously with a fingerprint scanner. If I can search for places that the killer might have touched, I can maybe find his fingerprints. One of them is probably the door, but that one was Gabriel's. That's Gabriel's. That's Gabriel's.
He probably left his fingerprints somewhere. I mean, he left his bullet wounds around somewhere, which is not very smart either. I think if you kill somebody, you should clean up behind you.
I think that is definitely advisable. We're not trying to tell people how to kill people here, though, are we?
No. I didn't mean to.
Alright. I found a fingerprint. Type B. This is probably the killer's fingerprint. So now we know that whenever we have a suspicion about someone, we can always check their fingerprints against that. And then we know for sure that it's the bad guy's fingerprints. I'm going to look around a little bit more and see what else I can find. Oh, there's a... So this is saying I need a gun. So this is a place to get a gun. And this is the person to ask about said gun.
How you know it's a gun? It just says you need a piece.
A piece is code for gun on the streets.
Ah, okay. You're more familiar with that than I am, obviously.
I've never interacted with a gun, but that is indeed what it means. So one of the other things you can do in the game is you can call the last number, or you can call this number 541 quadruple O, and it tells you who the last person to phone was. So that's another lead I could potentially follow, and it was just before he died as well, so that could be interesting. His address book, a lot of his contacts, people he knows, potentially friends, potentially enemies, you never know. So I could look at that as well. And here is another good one, the trash. So in the trash, sometimes you just find rubbish, but there might...
Just rubbish? It was from our previous interview.
And then there's also a... Oh, it's the police! Oh my gosh.
Wow, you just managed to escape through the vent. I mean, you must be pretty small and also quite dexterous to do that.
I am, and that's why they've not been able to follow me. I'm too elusive for them. So that was quite something. I'm glad I managed to escape on time, even though I knew it was coming. That was a close call. Usually they don't come so quickly, but I managed to get out, thank goodness. The idea there is the police are trying to sort of frame you for this murder, so you've got to go and find out, okay, what's happening here and why am I getting in trouble? Why are the police trying to frame me? So now I'm just going to try and escape through the vents, find a way out, and try and find out who did it.
You don't have very much UI to help you, which is, I think, great, but knowing where north is would be sometimes useful, or at least up and down would be useful if you're crawling through the vents. Can you actually crawl up and down through the vent, or is it?
Yeah, you can. I'm now in someone else's house, and I don't want to be here, so I'm gonna try and lockpick my way out into the world again, and then I can get out of here.
Why are you breaking in there? I'm not breaking in, I'm breaking out. Okay, that doesn't sound any less suspicious.
Yeah, probably still not a good thing to be doing. These people... Oh my god.
They already know about you.
Yeah, I think some people might be a little bit suspicious about me already. I'm just gonna run as fast as I can and see if I can get out of here. Hopefully.
Oh, this is exciting. This is very exciting. But now you're in a dark place. Nobody can see you, I suppose. So in the top right corner there were some indications of how much noise you made. Now they are gone again. That means you're not making any noise. What does the footprint mean?
The footprint
In the top right corner, bottom right corner, sorry.
This one? Oh, this one I think means... Oh, it's just to show where noise is coming from and stuff like that. To show how much noise is being made at a certain time. But I think I've managed to escape without too much harm. All I've come away is being a little bit smelly. So I'm happy with that. I managed to survive. And I can talk to my good friend here, Liv Watson, and see maybe if she knows anything about Gabriel Otero. Ah, wow. So they actually did see them before. That's interesting. So you can ask, and this is if they were walking around in the simulation, just looking around in the world, and they will report accurately when they last saw that person. So if I said to this guy, when was the last time, or do you know this person here? He would say, oh yeah, I saw him standing around the bin with me. Because, but there's a chance they don't tell you. This is a set of a very noir world. It's a very suspicious setting. People don't trust each other. There's cameras everywhere and surveillance, so they might not tell you.
Actually, this is quite a bit more exciting than I expected it to, and we've already recorded quite a lot, and should soon come to some kind of end. Is there still some climax or something that you say, oh, that makes sense to go through again?
This is probably a good place to end it. So now that we have our leads, I've picked up a form from the City Hall where I can say who I think the killer is. At this point in the game, I don't really know who it is, but as you can see, I've got a lot of different leads that I can go on, whether or not I investigate where the bullets were from and the gun, where he went to buy that gun at the Yellow Home Center, or do I check out his cafe, the cafe he went to, or the place he works, or do I call this number, do I look into who these people are? You know, there are a lot of different leads I could follow, and that's what this game tries to do. It tries to make you think, it tries to make you really put yourself in the shoes of a detective, and yeah, I think that's a very good place to call it.
And you can play that game again and again, and you will always have a new game, basically.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you can find different jobs in different places. Sometimes you can get jobs even in like payphones. You can find different jobs on the board. Or if I can find this pub here, I think I can go in this place, and I'll show you as well. Oh, it's locked. I don't know why they're closed. But yeah, you can find different jobs as well, so you don't necessarily need to always do the same thing, or even I don't even need to continue this case. The thing is though, because everything's constantly simulated, if I don't find this killer, they will kill someone else.
Then you have even more clues how to find him.
That's true, actually, yeah.
Okay, then thank you very much for your time. Which state is the game actually currently in? When are you going to release?
The game's going to be coming out in 2023.
You just died on purpose, right?
Yeah. Thought I'd start a fist fight, and I immediately got killed.
Okay, we can even start fist fights. So yeah, going to be released sometime next year, and I suppose probably for PC. Anything else?
Just PC for now.
Okay. Then my final question, as usual, is maybe publish everything we've just recorded, so this interview and the gameplay.
Yeah.
Thank you.